I was obligated to sit down after my meals and just stay still. So I decided to take it on my body and prove to others that I was struggling by showing them like, hey, I'm struggling. Okay, you can live your life without it. I promise. Humans have lived their life for years. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna eat and chat a little bit. Today we have on the menu for breakfast a big apple pancake with yogurt and almond butter, and I also have a coffee because I love coffee. I wrote on my notes quite a bit. Don't know how I'm gonna title this video, but I'm gonna talk about the habits, the 5 habits that I stopped doing, how I got into them, and why I stopped. I think it's very important for you to like reflect, and at the end, I really like talking to you guys and like sharing with you guys my experience with stuff, and just like maybe if you can take something from my channel is don't make the same mistakes that I did, and that's why I share them with my camera, with my audience, because I don't want you guys to suffer the same things that I had to suffer with, and that's like my main goal with all of this. So cheers. This is the first little bite. I do have an ebook. I launched a recipe ebook just for breakfast foods because I freaking love breakfast. So if you're the same as me and you love breakfast foods, I think you should check it out. It's on my website and it's on the description box. I have all in here and we're gonna start talking about it, okay? My hair is a little bit messy, but I guess we're good with that, right? Okay, I also wanted to show you guys this. My mom gave it to me, and it's to place your phone in here so I can actually use it right now. See? It holds my phone. That's so cool. Don't you think it's cool? I think it's cool. I think I started doing all of these habits because of social media and not because I wanted to make them or because I listened to my body or my intuition or because I thought that they were okay. I think that I just started doing them because I saw someone else doing it and I thought that that was the way to go, you know? Let's talk about it. Disclaimer, as always, this is my own personal experience, opinion. You can do whatever you want with your life. This is just me and what I had to do with my life, with my health, with my body, and for my own sanity. If you want to keep doing, if you do any of those habits and if you want to keep doing them and if you're happy with them, go ahead. Like, I'm no one to tell you, don't do this, do that. I'm just sharing personally me, what I did and what I think it's better for my body, for my health, for everything. And if you want to take my advice, take it. If you don't want to, don't take it. You do whatever you want with your life. It's your life. It's my life. Okay, let's get that clear first. These 5 habits that I'm gonna share, they became literally part of my life. And for many years, I thought that I wasn't going to ever be able to stop because they became part of who I was. I don't know, like change, it's hard. Like we all know that. We all know that change is scary. I was scared. I was scared of changing and like not knowing what else to do. Like, who am I if I don't do these habits? Who am I if I don't do this? Like, what am I supposed to do if I don't do this thing? It's scary. And it was hard for me to change. But I think that it's worth it. The first one is gonna be body checking and taking pictures of my body to check my progress. I actually started this because I don't know, like one day when I decided to get better and start gaining weight, or even before that, when I started losing weight, I was like, oh my God, I really want to track my progress and see how my body changes. So I'm going to start taking pictures of my body to see if my body's changing, like to see if like one image from the other looks different. So I'm going to start doing that, you know? And then when I wanted to actually get better, or no, when people will tell me like you look way too skinny or like you really need to gain some weight, you don't look well, I wouldn't believe them at all because what I was seeing in the mirror was not that. So I think I started like taking pictures of my body just to see if my body looked like what they were telling me it looked like, if that makes any sense. I kind of wanted to see what others were seeing on me that I wasn't seeing when I was looking in the mirror. I thought that taking pictures of me and my body was going to open my eyes and like help me get better, but in reality, that's not a thing. Like literally, nope. That was just like feeding the eating disorder even more because I was actually getting used to seeing myself in that body. I got used to seeing myself like tiny and skinny and whatever. And every time that someone else will take a picture, I will compare it and I'll be like, oh my God, no, like I am changing. And just I think just being way too fixated on your body and like, I don't know how to explain it, but being too aware of the little changes that your body has is not healthy. And it definitely wasn't healthy for me at all. I thought I was doing okay. I thought that I was doing fine by doing them. Or like some days I also think that maybe I was taking the pictures because I wanted to prove to others that I was in fact sick. Like I wanted to, whenever I will think like, oh my God, I really want to get better and gain weight, but I need to like have some proof that I was this sick so that others believe me. Like, girl, like no, like nobody needs to believe you that you were sick. It really doesn't matter at all. Like, and you're like harming yourself and harming your recovery by doing that. So I don't know why. And the girls that struggle with an eating disorders will get it. But you actually want to prove to others that you're in fact sick, that you're struggling inside by how you look on the outside. And you want others to see that. And you want to be validated by others, because I didn't feel the validation of, in fact, I am sick and I need help. I wanted to scream to the world that I was struggling. And that was kind of my way to show to others that I was struggling. Just by literally harming my body and showing it with my body and not with words, not by expressing my feelings and saying, hey, I'm struggling with control. I'm struggling with feeling lonely in my life. I'm struggling with not feeling good enough. I didn't talk. I wouldn't express my feelings. I wouldn't express how I was feeling from the inside. I didn't have the words and I didn't have the courage to express my feelings and express how I was feeling towards my body and my life in general. So I decided to take it on my body and prove to others that I was struggling by showing them like, hey, I'm struggling. Do you see it? Can you see that I'm struggling? So I think that was why I decided to like start taking pictures, because I wanted to tell others like, I struggle a lot with my mental health. See, this is me, this was me, and you can actually tell that I was struggling because of how my body looked like. When in reality, like you can be at any weight and still struggle with an eating disorder and still struggle with rules and not liking yourself and like body image and stuff like that. So yep, that's what happened. Body checking is just so toxic. It's so toxic. And with the pictures, I feel like it's even worse, because now you not only have the mirror, but now you have it like on your phone. And you have it like several times during your day. Like you can look at it. Even if there's no mirrors where you are, you can actually just take your phone and just look at the pictures, and you just hurt yourself so much. And it really isn't worth it. Really isn't. No. This is exactly what I wrote in here. So I no longer had the mirror to check my body, but now I also had the pictures on my phone reminded me of how I was supposed to look like. And if one day I didn't look the same in the mirror that in the pictures on my phone, I will literally freak out and will start overthinking about my intake and asking myself, what could I possibly be doing differently for my body to not look like the pictures? But in reality, it was all in my head. I had a lot of body dysmorphia. One day to another, my body wasn't going to significantly make a change. And also, if it's like a small change, it really doesn't matter, like at all. So I had to stop doing that and stop lifting my shirt every time that I will pass in front of a mirror, just checking if it still had like my abs, just to check if my body still looked the same, if whatever. And I actually stopped taking pictures of my body every time I thought that it looked good or bad, because everything is temporary. Like how your body looks like right now at this exact moment doesn't matter, because it's gonna change at some point. At some point it's gonna change. Girls get pregnant one day, body change. You can get a virus or something, your body will change because you're not gonna be able to eat as much. You get sick, your body will change. You go on vacation, your body will change, and you need to accept that. And I needed to accept that. Taking pictures and body checking all the time, it's really not going to help you accept change. At first, like the body checking was about that, and it was more of like literally the eating disorder. Just pretty much the eating disorder. It was pretty bad. The second time I started doing this, like taking pictures of my body and stuff, was supposed to be for like the good reasons, since I had to like send check-ins to my coach, my fitness coach. But again, that was just beating the eating disorder, because I started thinking that the only way that I was going to see progress was in my body. Like I was working out and I was going to the gym and stuff like that, but it was not for the right reasons. Like now that I think about it, and now that I'm more sane and like I open my eyes, I see how toxic that mindset was. The only reason I was going to the gym was because I wanted to see those pictures change. I wanted to have my booty and stuff like that. I was obsessed with it. Like, so going to the gym became just a way of me pushing myself as much as I can just to change my body. And I will say to others, I'm doing it. I go to the gym because I'm so healthy and I just want to be healthy. No, you don't, okay? You don't. I was literally obsessed with seeing my body change. Those pictures were feeding the eating disorder into me, thinking that the only way that I could tell if I was making progress at the gym was by looking at my body and seeing if the weight I was gaining was going to all the right places. All the right places. The only way it became acceptable for me to gain weight was by going to the gym and gaining muscle. Like, Lord, like, oh my God, God forbid I gain a little bit of fat. No, that's why I needed to check in with my coach every single week to check the pictures and check the minimal fat gain or minimum muscle gain every single week. It was like a chore for me to do that. Like I didn't want to do it anymore. I hated it, and I hated it how obsessive I was with body checking and with like the progress pictures. I became obsessed with them. And even seeing others posting them, I was like, I really want to just do mine, but mine have to look perfect. Like I cannot gain weight if it's not gonna be on my booty, and I'm not gonna be able to like make a progress picture and everyone else will admire me for me to like gain muscle and have the gains and like look perfect after having an eating disorder. Like, what the hell? That's not recovery. I was still super obsessed with having the perfect body. Yeah, it wasn't the skinniest body, but it was still an obsession with my body and placing way too much attention and prioritizing how I look like over everything. Like everything, my relationships, my health, everything. My mental sanity, honestly. So yeah, I am guilty of overlooking at the progress pictures and comparing them every check-in every single week. And I don't know, I just think I became super obsessed with how my body looked like every single week. And I don't think that's a really healthy way to live your life. So mind you, I don't go to the gym anymore as I used to. But if I come back, and I'll probably will in the future, I don't know, I won't do that. I won't do that at all. I just think working out should be something that you actually enjoy and you do out of pleasure, and because you want to take care of your body and you want to be grateful for the things that your body is able to do, and not because you want to be super fixated on achieving a standard body goal that it will change. Like, it literally will change. We all know that. We all know that one day the standard body type, the perfect body type is skinny, and the next day it's like muscular, and the next day it's like lean, and the next day, like, it's always going to change, and you're always going to be in fight with your body if you don't accept your body just how it is. I just think there is way much more benefits in working out than just changing how your body looks and manipulating it to make sure it looks like the current beauty standard that I want to remind you, it will always be changing, so you will end up wanting more and more changes in your body or face. So it's literally pointless. Like, it's taking you nowhere. And do you really want to get to the end of your life and realize that you live for others to see you? You live for how your body looked like. You didn't really enjoy your life. You didn't really try new things because you were too scared of your body changing, and you prioritize your body over literally everything. I know I don't, and that's why I made the change. If you go to the gym, and when I am back to the gym. There is way much more better ways to track progress. For example, how stronger you're getting, or if you run, how fast you're getting. And for all of that, I want to remind you that you need food, because food is literally fuel. And if you don't eat enough, you're not gonna get stronger, you're not gonna get faster. Or for me, something that I truly enjoy is actually finding pleasure in working out. You remember when we were kids and changing our body wasn't in our mind? I used to like play so many sports and loved it. Not because I wanted to change my body, but because I truly enjoy doing cheerleading and soccer, and it will give me so much happiness, and I'll feel so nervous about like going on different trips with my team, and it was exciting, and it was something that I will enjoy so freaking much. And that's how working out should be and should feel like, in my opinion. Number 2, this is something that people don't talk a lot about in eating disorders because it seems normal and like the healthy thing to do, but it's compulsive movement. I remember exactly why this started. I remember seeing someone on social media saying how the majority of your calories, of the calories that you burn in a day, come from meat and not from like your workout. So I have an obsessive brain, and I took it way too far. If someone told me like, hey, the majority of the calories that you burn come from the things that you do in your day-to-day life, like cooking or like brushing your teeth or like walking to the store and stuff like that. So you should park far, you should go shopping, and you should take the stairs, stuff like that. Well, I took it way too far because I have a obsessive brain. And that's why I really need to be careful in the future with the choices that I make and the things that I listen to and that I consume, because I have a very obsessive brain. So I took it way too far, and sitting down was not an option anymore because I wasn't active, and people told me online on social media that it wasn't good or healthy for me to be sitting down for many hours a day. I love the message. Okay, I love the message of move your body more, but that message was not intended to be for me. I was a girl struggling with an eating disorder that needed to gain weight, needed her body to change, needed to let go of rules in her head, and the person that created that content didn't intend for me to consume it. That message is for the adults that have a job that is 8 to 6 and they sit throughout the whole day, and then they go home and sit in the sofa and they don't do any activity at all, and they eat enough. They are not mentally sick, they're not mentally ill. So that message, amazing, is perfect for them, because that encourage for someone to move their body more so that their body is healthy in the future, so that they don't struggle with back issues, so that they are more active in their day-to-day life. That message is not intended to go to a girl that is struggling with exercise, with already over-exercising at the gym, that is struggling with like eating enough just to survive. She doesn't need to move more. Okay, I didn't need to move more, but it got in my head and it became a habit that I think this one was the worst, and I think this one was the hardest one to break. I remember going on treatment and getting called out by the nurses many times because I wasn't able to sit still after my meals. We had to be sitting down for about an hour. Sitting down. You couldn't pace, you couldn't walk. I literally cried. I cried so much because the nurses wouldn't allow me to stand. You know, the difference between being standing for a half an hour and sitting for half an hour is this small. Like, it really doesn't matter. But it matters when you have a sick brain. I had to do that. I cried. I literally cried so much when I was in treatment because of that. And I got called out multiple times as well, but I learned. And I sat with my feelings. I sat with the guilt feelings. I will distract myself, of course, with like playing games, playing board games, talking to my girls in there. You know, but when I was able to sit still for long periods of time was when I realized like nothing bad happens. Like literally nothing bad happens. Before going to treatment, I was literally miserable. And this was something that I truly wanted to change, but I just felt like I couldn't. I felt like it was impossible for me. I had so many urges to do the same thing every day. And like those little habits were awful and nobody was, they were like embarrassing. Like if you, like every time that I think about my life before treatment, I just get kind of embarrassed and kind of want to cry because of the many things that I used to do that I'm not gonna say here, of course, but it's just not a way to live. And Dani from the past, she was miserable. She would go to bed with tears on her face and just with so much pain on her feet. And she really wanted to change, but it was like impossible for her to do it. Or she thought that it was impossible for her to do it. And she had to go to treatment. And it breaks my heart when I read DMs of girls that are in the same position that Dani was in, because I know that nothing that I say will be able to help them change unless they truly want it. Because I went through it, and that's why I went to treatment, because I had to, even if I didn't want to get better, even if I didn't want to stop the habits and stop the behaviors, I had to, and they made me do it. I was obligated to do them. I was obligated to sit down after my meals and just stay still, not work out and stuff like that. That was what I needed at that moment. And maybe if you're thinking about it and if you're like miserable right now and you're trying to like not do this habit, which is awful and I understand, you need to really think about treatment. Like maybe, because it's something that saved my life, to be honest. It really saved my life. My life was miserable because I couldn't do anything that wasn't being active. I couldn't go to the cinema anymore because that was way too much sitting. So every single invitation of like, do you want to go see a movie? No, because I'm gonna be still and like I can't do that. Do you want to go on a road trip? No, I don't want to go on a road trip because that's too much sitting. Do you want to go to a coffee shop and talk for hours? No, I don't, because I can't sit still. So it became like a problem in my life. It became something that made my life miserable. I really wanted to change, and when I changed and when I went to treatment and after that, I realized that my body, and this is something that I learned, my body still, and your body still needs food, even if you're not doing anything. Your body is working inside, even if you don't see it. There's a lot of organs inside of you that are working very hard for you to be healthy and for you to be working. Like your heart is beating, your muscles are moving, your hormones are like working, your brain is working, and all of that need food, because food is fuel. It's like the gasoline of the car. You need it. Like there's no way a human can survive with no food, because this is what you need, is energy. Calories is a measurement of energy. You need energy to do stuff. You need energy for your body to function. So even if you sit still on a road trip, you still need the fuel. Like imagine if I was still sick and if I want to go to Hawaii, would you imagine me going to Hawaii in an airplane? Like I have to sit for hours to be able to travel to the airplane. And all of those things and all of those dreams that I had to remind myself of those and write them on my journal and be like, hey, I truly want to get better because I want to be able to travel to Hawaii without having a mental breakdown because I have to sit for hours on a plane. That's a normal human thing to do. Chill. You're making your life more complicated. I don't know. I think that when you get out of the mindset of that, you kind of realize like, oh my God, like I did some dumb shit in my life. Like literally for what? For nothing. And also, if you have a struggle with an eating disorder, I don't think it's healthy for you to have an Apple Watch and be tracking your steps. I don't think it is at all, because I know that you have a obsessive brain, because I do have it as well. So it's better for you to just take it out, okay? You'll feel so much more freedom after that. You don't have anything that is reminding you of how many steps you still need to take. Okay, you can live your life without it. I promise. Humans have lived their life for years without an Apple Watch. You can do it. You will survive. I promise you that. Number 3 is drinking energy drinks. Let's take a bite, because if not, I'm just gonna stay here forever. Drinking energy drinks. Literally the worst. This is something that I used to say when I was a kid that I wouldn't do ever. Like I will see the Monster and the Red Bull commercials and I'll be like, oh my God, that's insane. Why do people drink that? Like, there's coffee, which is more natural. Why do people drink that? Why do people want to feel like that? Like agitated and like weird. And then I started to go on social media, and of course I got influenced by a lot of people preaching them, and a lot of people like saying, this is what I drink before the gym. Honestly, the best thing ever. It tastes so good. You should try it. I was like, okay, she's doing it, so I might as well just try it. And I did it one day, and then I became addicted because the flavor is not bad. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, the flavor is really good. The energy that you get to the gym, really good. The anxiety afterwards, not worth it. I will feel extremely anxious with both ways. I'll feel anxious in the context of, I don't know what's going on, but I feel like I'm about to have many tears in my face because I feel like I'm gonna have a mental breakdown, but I don't know why. Also, I will feel like a hole in my stomach. Like, I'll feel not hungry, like anxious for food, like rushed to like eat and eat and eat. Not because I was hungry or wanted to taste something good, but because I will feel rushed to eat. I don't know how to explain it, but it didn't feel okay. And then I'll tell myself like, I'm gonna change this. I swear this is my last energy drink, and then tomorrow I will not do this because I hate feeling this way. And then the next day will come around and I will wake up and be like, I really want an energy drink, so I'm gonna have it. This is the only thing that's keeping me sane right now. It was the habit of having the energy drink what was hard to break, not the energy drink, if that makes any sense. It became a problem when my anxiety was awful. And mind you, I didn't know how to stop because I actually got a scary day in which it was my dad's birthday, and I went to the gym in the morning and I got a C4. The C4 has something, a chemical, or like, yeah, something like a chemical that makes you like tingle so that you have like a better workout, because I fucking hate the tingle. Like, I hate it. I felt like my body was going to die. I felt like I was gonna die. My heart was racing so fast when I came back from the gym, and I couldn't breathe well. My heart, my head, I felt kind of confused. I couldn't stand still. Like, I couldn't stand. I was on the floor and I was crying and I didn't know what was happening to me. I felt so bad, and I didn't even stop after that. I just thought that it was the C4, and I was like, oh, might as well just stop drinking the C4, but I'm still gonna drink other energy drinks that don't make me feel that way. They didn't make me feel that extreme of bad, but they did make me feel bad as well. Also felt so bloated afterwards, like the whole day. And I think that's because of the artificial sweeteners. I think so. To be completely honest, the reason I also wanted to change was because I knew that energy drinks were bad for you, but it was super hard to break. But I also knew that I wanted to continue to create my content and lead you guys to live a healthier, happier life. And I wanted to give you guys good advice in life. I didn't want to be the reason one of you guys will start drinking energy drinks, because I know that happens. If I tell you guys this is super yummy, you should try it, you're gonna try it and you're gonna get influenced by me. And I didn't want to be the reason one of you will start drinking energy drinks. I didn't want to promote them. I didn't want to drink them. I didn't want to be that girl. I didn't want to be the person that got me into energy drinks. I knew that I had to stop. I visualized myself as my future self, and I was like, yeah, this is not the girl that I want to be. The girl that I want to be, do not drink energy drinks, because she knows that it doesn't make her feel her best, and she knows that she doesn't want to rely on them. She knows that she doesn't want to promote something that is really deteriorating your health just because it makes you have like a good workout. And not really about the workout, but about, oh my God, like if I have a good workout, I will change my body. You know, it all comes to the root cause of like, I need to change my body, so I need to have a good workout. So if I have an energy drink, I know that I will have a good workout. So I have to give up that mindset of I need to change my body for me to stop drinking the energy drinks, because I was like, yeah, really, it doesn't matter as long as I keep my body and my body healthy. Number 4, drinking caffeine on an empty stomach. This was a hard one because it's rooted in my culture. And if you're Colombian, you know this, but when we wake up in the morning in Colombia, we always make black coffee, just plain black coffee, and it's no sugar, no cream, no milk, just black coffee, and it's called tinto. That's what we call it in Colombia. That's like water. It's like a priority to get that in before anything else, before dealing with a word, before anything. So it's really rooted in my culture. If you ask my parents, that's what they do. If we are traveling in a hotel, the first thing that they do when they wake up is ask me, is there any coffee? Because coffee, it's like the number one thing, is the reason we wake up excited. So it was actually a little hard to change that, but I also needed to put myself together and be like, okay, what's more important for me, the comfort of having the coffee or like actually balancing my hormones? Because if you do your research, you will know that in the morning cortisol levels are at the peak, and by you drinking coffee on an empty stomach, you will actually keep getting your cortisol levels very high, and that leads to a lot of stress in your body. So I knew that I wanted to change that. And I did. And I know, like, it's hard to change routines and habits, even if they're like harmless. Like, this doesn't look harmless, doesn't look like it will hurt you. But when you do your research and you start like prioritizing the good things that you want to prioritize in your life, like your health, you realize like, okay, this is a price that I'm willing to pay for me to actually get better and get healthier and have a healthier life in the future. So that's what I think about when I want to make a change, and make a change for the good, you know? Number 5, last one, very hard one. Weighing your food, tracking your food, your macros, your calories, whatever you want to call it. And this one was a pretty fucking hard one. I'm not gonna lie to you. This was extremely hard, mainly because weighing my food will give me the sense of control, and like having my food control was everything I wanted since the beginning. In the beginning, it started as having control over my body, over what I will eat. And then it became weighing my food and just tracking my macros and having them to be perfect. So that will give me a sense of comfort and also control in my life. Like, I didn't have control over what the future was going to look like for me, but I knew that I had the control of how many oats I was eating in the morning. So who cares, right? I thought that without that, I wasn't going to be able to eat normally and stuff. And I thought that if I don't have this, I have nothing. And this is the only thing that I can control in my life. And this is the only thing that will actually help me be more, in control. I don't know how to explain that. I knew that I wanted to change because those habits were interfering with my life and with getting to be the girl that I wanted to be. I really wanted to start going on trips, but I couldn't, because I wasn't going to be in control of my food. I wasn't going to be able to measure my peanut butter, or wasn't going to be able to say no to invitations, because if you're traveling, like, what else are you gonna do, like, if you don't go to the restaurant for lunch? Are you gonna stay at the hotel or what? I didn't want to pack my food all the time on road trips. I didn't want to, I just visualized myself in the future, and I was like, this is really not the life that I want. I really do not want to live my life like this. I do really want to go out on spontaneous dates and lunch and dinners, and I want to eat the food that my mom makes me, and I want to eat food because I enjoy it, because I want it, because I'm hungry, and not because it fits my macros, or playing this game in Tetris in my head of like, if I eat this for breakfast, then how do I make it fit my lunch with like this amount of protein and carbs and fats? Like, it was just too much. And I know with having an eating disorder, you want to overcomplicate everything, or like you actually complicate your life even more than what it is. As an adult, you have a lot of stress in your life already: taxes, money, jobs, work, relationships, all of that. And then you add another worry in your life, which is now, how do I set my macros to be perfectly so that I gain the exact amount of muscle and the little amount of fat possible, and how do I make everything work so that I have the perfect amount of protein and carbs and fat every single day? What restaurant are we going to? Because I need to ask for 100 grams of chicken. Like, do I ask the server to like actually not put this butter on it because that will be some grams of fat, and I don't have that many grams of fat today. Like, that's a lot of complicated stuff in your life, and that's adding so much stress, so much mental stress to your life. I promise it isn't worth it. It isn't. It was extremely hard to just eat, but with time, I promise that it gets better. It gets better when you actually do it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and you're like, wow, like, I'm still here. Nothing bad happened. Nothing bad happened. And I've been enjoying myself. I've been eating empanadas, and they're quite good. Do I know how many macros that has? No, and I don't give a shit. I'm still me. I'm still Dani. I'm still gonna be Dani, even if I don't track my macros perfectly. That's why I decided to do it, and I did it. And let me tell you something, because I get a lot of questions on my DMs like, how do you do it? How do you do it? How do you do it? This is a phrase that I always say to myself. If you really want something, you're gonna find a way to do it. If you don't, you're gonna find excuses. You're always going to find excuses when you're scared. If you really want something, you will figure it out. I promise you do. Because it's easier to make excuses when you truly do not want something. But I knew what life I wanted to live in the future. And I didn't want to regret my life in the future. I didn't want to look back in the future and see like, oh my God, I spent so much of my time just like on my fitness pole and like not meeting new people and not going out there just because I was too scared and I regret it. I didn't want that to happen. So I decided to make a change, and I did. And that's what you need to do. My brain literally made me believe that everything was super serious. Like, super serious. Like, if I will weigh a banana and it was like 100 grams and I wanted to be 99 grams, then cutting that 1 gram was the correct thing to do in my brain, because it had to be perfect. Like, is it really gonna matter? Like, if you think about it, is it really going to matter? No, it's not. But your brain, when you're that obsessed, makes you believe that it is that serious. I promise it's not. And I promise you can live a life, a better life, a healthier life, a happier life without all of that. So I changed because I wanted to. I didn't want to look back in the future and see how much time I spent doing shit I hate doing or prioritizing what doesn't really matter in life. So with all this being said, because those were the 5 things, these are just my habits again. These are just the things that I personally wanted to change. If you're doing them, you want to keep doing them, you do you, okay? That I'm not one. I'm just here sharing my story, my journey, my experience, stuff like that. But if you want to change, you will. And if you don't, you will just find more excuses, and that is fine. If there's one tip that I can give you today, is this one. Hear me out. You need to write out your values. And I want you to do this on your journal or on a piece of paper and paste it on your room. I want you to write 5 values in your life. 5. Just 5. And you're gonna start living your life based on those values that you have. And even on hard days that you really don't know what to do or what choice to make, you're gonna look at those values and you're gonna be like, okay, how do I make a choice and how do I make a decision right now based on what I have on this piece of paper? So for example, for me, my first priority is my health, my body, my health, my healthy body, my mental health, and my physical health. Is that how I say it? I think so. Okay, both. Those 2 are my priority. So whenever, let's say, someone tells me, hey, do you want to drink an energy drink? Do you want it? I think about it. And I'm like, okay, how do I make this choice? Do I want it? Is this going to affect my physical health and my mental health because I might get addicted again? Yes. Then I say no to the energy drink. No, thank you. And prioritize that first. Same with all those little habits that you have. I don't know how to explain it in a better way, and I hope you get my point and my message, but for me, my health comes first, and then my relationships and my family. So again, if my mom says like, Dani, I'm having a bad day, like, do you want to go out for lunch? I can make a choice based on my values. I know that mental health is my main priority, so if that's good for my mental health, I'm gonna go. If my mom is going to feel happy and I am going to feel happy with her and with her company, and my relationships are on the second one, then I will go. Okay, my problem was that I was prioritizing how my body looked like over literally every single value in my life, like even honesty. So I wouldn't be honest about, let's say my mom will tell me, did you eat breakfast? And I'll be like, yes, because I was prioritizing my body over honesty and over my family and relationships. So when you have that list of values and you start living by them, you will soon realize what the good choice to make in every single situation is. Okay? So I think that's everything that I have to say for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you like this little theme. I'm gonna finish my breakfast. I'm so excited because I'm going on a trip in a week. So I'm gonna actually plan my trip because I'm super excited. And that's gonna be all for today. I love you guys so much, and you deserve to live a better life. And I promise it's definitely worth it, and it's definitely possible, but you gotta push through and you gotta make it work for yourself and not for anybody else. That's everything. I literally love you guys so much, and see you on the next one.